At a lot of tables, this auction went a diamond by South. This is at least how it went at our auction, at our table. And I'm opening a diamond here, even though my clubs are longer, because I don't want to run into that reverse problem, right? I don't want to open a club, have my partner bid a spade, and then be forced into bidding two diamonds. Because although I had a good hand, it's not quite enough for a reverse. All right, so the idea is if you want to bid diamonds and clubs, you start with diamonds, you come back with clubs, and you have an understanding partner who appreciates that sort of problem and knows that when you take an auction that looks like that, it's possible that your clubs will be longer than your diamonds. Okay, so that's the one diamond opener. At our table, we got a double by the West hand. And I'm not really in love with this double for what it's worth. You do have 14 points, but also what you have is a hand that would defend really well if the opponents played diamonds. And I prefer to either have like more strength than this, or like if you transpose the clubs and the diamonds, I'm surely on board. And just looking at what people did with this hand, I understand that this is kind of in the gray area, and some people would double with this, and that would be more their style. But just here to say, this is not my favorite takeout double in the world, just because of the diamond length, mainly. And I'm not actually all that worried. Like if partner bids two clubs, I'm not all that worried, right? Because partner will go out of her way to bid a major if she's got one of those. So that's not it as much as it is. I like to think of takeout doubles as offensive bids. And here I have four trumps to the king, jack, 7-3. So anyway, let's stick with this auction for a second. So let's talk about what responders' actions are after a diamond double. So, and this is again, I think different people have different ways of doing this, but I believe what I'm telling you here is kind of modern theory on what the bids mean. You redouble anytime you have 10 plus points and a desire to defend. Okay, and that's going to tend to be a balanced hand, and it's going to tend to not have a big fit with partner, particularly if partners bid a major. Like usually we don't want to be suggesting defense if we have an 8-card major fit. All right. So normally redouble would be 10 plus points, and just think of it in English as this kind of looks like a misfit to me maybe, and I have a desire to defend. And what that hand would kind of look like, if you think about it, is like it would also look like a takeout double of one diamond. It's got a misfit with partner, it's a good hand, and it's got length in the other suits, right? So that's kind of what redouble would look like. If you bid here, it's just as if they haven't bid on your right. Okay, so if you wanted to get both the spade and the heart suits on the table, if that's your plan, the idea is we're going to start with the higher of 5-card suits, and we could bid a spade, and that would be natural and forcing here. Okay, it's not limited by our failure to redouble. In other words, you could still have a big shapely hand when you don't redouble. Redouble should be 10 plus points, defensive values, tends to not have a fit for partner. So what if you have a huge fit for partner and they double and you've got a good hand? That's where most people would play something called Jordan 2-no trump. So 2-no trump in an auction like this, I don't actually have the hand because I don't have diamonds. But if you were to bid 2-no trump here, let me undo that. Show you how to use the alert again. Fit, good hand, right? That would bid 2-no trump. Okay, so that doesn't fit here because we only have 2-card diamond support. But that's what you do with good hands with a fit, good hands without a fit, and you can bid one heart or one spade, and it should be forcing for one round. So let's go down that path for a second. And I'm going to say this hand is strong enough that I at least want to mention both suits. So I'm going to start with my spades, even though they're more tattered than my hearts. The only consideration I'm giving here is I want to bid both suits, and I'm going to start with the higher ranking suit, the higher ranking 5-card suit, and come back with the lower ranking 5-card suit. So I'll start with a spade. This is natural and forcing. East kind of says, okay, glad I'm off the hook here. South follows through with 2 clubs. Okay, this is the original plan. West has done all the bidding she should do here. And now we're kind of in a spot. The problem with 2 hearts here is what? Well, it's that if we're playing a convention called 4th suit forcing, and we have the agreement that would apply over a double, 2 hearts would force to game. And it wouldn't necessarily show hearts. We could clarify that later. But I don't really want to send the message that I've got enough to commit to a game with this 8 count. It's 5-5, but it is only an 8 count. And I don't have a fit for diamonds with my partner. And oh, by the way, the person on my right kind of suggested that they have length in the 2 suits that I have length in. So all that being said, what I would like to do here is invite partner. Say I have invitational strength with hearts. So the way you can do that, if you're playing 4th suit forcing to game, is now the 3 level becomes open for invitations. So anything we wanted to bid at the 3 level here is not forcing, but invitational, suggestive, constructive. So I can bid 3 hearts here. Partner knows, A, I have hearts, and B, I don't have a forcing hand. I have an invitational hand. Why don't I have a forcing hand? Because all the forcing hands would have gone through 2 hearts first, and then bid hearts at our next opportunity to clarify that that's actually what we've got. Okay, so this is the way if you're playing 4th suit forcing, this is the way you could show an invite. And from here, I would be very happy to raise to 4 hearts with the south hand. I have 3 quick tricks on the outside. I have a singleton spade, and I have 3 trumps. And if we keep in mind that invites at pairs scoring particularly should be sound, I have every bit of a 4-heart bid here. And that is how you would navigate this particular auction. Okay. Isn't that a jump shift I'm seeing in the chat? Jump shifts only apply by opener, I think, technically. Here, I don't know what the name of it is exactly, but just keep in mind that you put all of your good hands when you're using 4th suit forcing go into that 2-heart bid on responder's second bid. Okay, if we've named suit 1, suit 2, suit 3, all of responder's forcing hands need to bid suit 4, so that when we don't do that, it can mean something different. And the most high frequency, useful thing that people have decided on is the 3 level can be invitational. Does 3 heart imply 5 in length? Yes, definitely. Okay, so that's that. So that's your 4th suit forcing thing on this. That's how you would navigate this hand. That's why things are invitational. Let's take you back to